This is the story of Buttons the bird. Buttons was a girl bird. She looked like this. I'll show you a picture. Buttons loved men. She loved me the best. I got her from a man who had a storage building that we painted. Tommy and Dia and Yogi and everybody I knew in family was all there painting. Buttons, from the moment I got up in the morning, she'd be on my shoulder, pushing up against my neck. She loved me so much, and I loved her. She was a needy bird. One day, Yogi and I, my wife Yogi, and I decided that we needed to get her a boy bird so she wouldn't have to have me as her only boyfriend. Because sometimes I went to work like every day, all day long, half the night. So we got Max. Now Max was a bird in a cage, a bird that needed somebody like we needed a bird. All his tail feathers were pulled out by the other birds in the cage. He was a rescue bird. He'd been born there, though. So we brought him home for Buttons. I'll show you a picture of Max. Well, Buttons said, "That's a baby bird." And she treated him like a baby and babied him, and he would put his head under her wing and wanted to sleep with her all the time, and she'd be biting him because she didn't want him that close. But he got older and kept trying. He wanted to be her mate. She couldn't handle that. He wasn't her mate, he was her baby. He wasn't her mate, he was her baby. She's supposed to run him off. Poor Max. One day, Buttons on my shoulder flew off to a tree across the fields. I went in the house and I never saw her again. Poor Max. But Max loved Yogi. He'd be on her first thing in the morning every day until he went to bed at night. All day long, he'd be up against her neck, pressing himself, wanting to see her face. He was so sweet. He was so sweet. He lived with Yogi for many, many years. The reason my face lights up once in a while is because the TV does this thing where it lights up and then shuts off. I'm going by that light. But Max really loved Yogi. And it kept Yogi alive for many years. She had to get up to feed him. She had to get up to be with him. She was compelled. What you gonna do? He loved her. She loved him. Max died, and it broke Yogi's heart. And she only lived a little bit after that. That broke my heart. I hope I live longer. Love you, Oren. That's the story of Max the Buttons. There's lots more stories, but by the way, these birds, you could take them outside and they would fly up in the trees and stay up in the trees until you went inside, and they'd come down with you when you called. That is, when they were being good, they'd come down. And there was a story one day, Buttons flew off because I went out and showed her the snow. It had snowed real hard, and I showed it to her. And she flew across the yard and over into some trees across the road, and she was up real high. And I thought the reason she's not coming to see us is because we don't look right from that high. We look like the top of a head instead of the front of a body. So I lay down in the snow on my back, and after a minute she flew down to me. So I was right. That's my best button story. Except that it flew over to the other house around the corner, was trying to get in their window. And they called us. But it was great to have a bird you could take outside with you and take to the store and stuff. She was more attached to people than to a place. See you later.